Early one morning, Thomas was happily at the station, and he was talking to his friend Bertie the bus, who has arrived. "I saw you working on the road today," said Thomas. "I know that, but I need reroute over to the other side of the mountain," replied Bertie. Thomas was puzzled. The other side of the mountain? But what is it like about anyway? Bertie chuckled. "Well, what is it like? Well, you heard being interesting about. It was a pole, a flag, and even the color was a rainbow." "Even the rainbow? Well, no, it can't be true, Bertie. You just made it all up," said Thomas, who tried pretending to be a true subject about rainbows. But secretly, he wanted to see the other side of the mountain, which is himself. Later that day, Thomas asked his crews about he wants to see about the rainbow at the other side of the mountain. His crews chuckled. "Don't be so ridiculous, Thomas," remarked the driver. "How you ever going to see this? You didn't go anywhere without any rails?" Thomas didn't think that his crews weren't talking about the other side of the mountain, and because it wasn't truthful. That night, Thomas asked the other engines about the other side of the mountain and rainbow flag, that what Bertie was talking about, but they found the same answer. "You silly Thomas," chuckled Percy. "You can't go without the rails to see at the mountain, if only the road where Bertie was taken at." Eventually, Thomas was getting cross, and he knew something to prove them wrong. The next day, Thomas was collecting empty cars that might take to a coaling plant when he saw Bertie again. "Bertie," said Thomas, who was getting frustration. "There's no place to see the other side of the mountain, and you just made it up, and you've been tricked me." But before Bertie could explain anything about yesterday, Thomas huffed away, and he was cross. But he didn't know the trouble will come than expected. As Thomas was puffing down the line, the troublesome truck started to push Thomas fiercely towards the junction. "Stop! Stop!" cried Thomas. The points weren't set against him, and he flew off the rails and straight into the woods, and he shut his eyes. At last, he came to a sudden stop right in front of the mountain and the road. When Thomas opened the eyes, he could see a rainbow flag standing right in front of him. "So that what Bertie was talking about?" said Thomas in disbelief, but he did feeling foolish. No one has been hurt. Butch arrived with flat truck and also with Sir Topham hat, and he was cross. "Well, Thomas, it seems that your curiously got better of you this time." "I'm sorry, sir. I was so cross at Bertie that I didn't believe about the rainbow flag, but I did believe him after all," said Thomas. "Well, it means that you didn't pay attention to the signals, Thomas. Safety is our own concern, and you should be mindful next time," said Sir Topham hat sternly. "Yes, sir. I'm sorry, sir." And Thomas was sighed sadly, and he felt very embarrassed. A few days later, Thomas was fully mended, and he was returned back to service. He spoke to Bertie. "I'm sorry that I don't believe in you, but it was amazing to see at the other side of the mountain, and I thought it was real." "It's so all right, Thomas," smiled Bertie. You know, as I was saying, that friendship could be trusted and always been tell the truth. Thomas could hardly agree.